everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we will discuss the theory of structuralism in brief. So, at first, we will know what is structuralism. Structuralism is an intellectual movement which began in France in the 1950s and is first seen in the work of anthropologist Claude Lévi-Strauss and literary critic Rona Bartha. It marks that things cannot be understood in isolation, they have to be seen in the context of the larger structures they are part of. We can also say that structuralism looks at the relationship between the various elements within the self contained, well organized structure of a text in order to understand the grammar or rules by which the text produces meaning. It focuses on the elements of text like voice, character, setting, and their combination by which the texts are formed. According to structuralism, meaning is always an attribute of things, in the literal sense that meanings are attributed to the things by the human mind, not contained within them. Here we will take an example to understand. If we read Dunn's Good Morrow, our first reaction as a structuralist would be to insist that it can only be understood if we have a clear notion of the genre which it parodies and subverts. Any single poem is an example of a particular genre, and the genre and the example relate to each other rather as a phrase spoken in English relates to the English language as a structure with all its rules, its conventions, and so on. In the case of Donne's poem, the relevant genre is the alba, or which is a dawn song, a poetic form dating from the 12th century in which lovers lament the approach of daybreak because it means that they must part. But the alba in turn can hardly be understood if we don't have the concept of courtly love. And further, the alba being a poem presupposes a knowledge of what is entailed in the conventionalized form of utterance known as poetry. These are some conventional cultural structures which Donne's poem is part of. You will see that your structuralist approach to it is actually taking you further and further away from the text and into large and comparatively abstract questions of genre, history, and philosophy. Here, we have to learn about Ferdinand de Saussure's some rules about language. Structuralism has its roots in the thinking of the Swiss linguist Ferdinand de Saussure. Saussure makes three significant moves in his analysis of language. First, he divides language into two main components, the lang and the parole, the set of rules by which we combine words into sentences, use certain words in certain ways, rules which are rarely altered and which all users of a language follow. This he termed as lang. And parole, everyday speech, where we use words in particular contexts. This is called parole. For example, a language is a system of rules and tools for use. The everyday calculation we do from prices in shops to simple totaling is an instance of lang. And parole is a language in context. We use the system of convention by habits, and we are not always aware to the large structure of language in everyday use. Parole is therefore a live language. His second move is he proposes a relational theory of language where words existed in relation to other words and the meaning of each word was dependent upon the meaning of other words. For example, cat is cat because it is not bat or rat or a hat. And finally, his third move is he suggests that words and their meanings are not natural but created through repeated use. The word cat does not naturally refers to a four-legged furry animal of a particular kind with particular habits. The pronunciation or writing of the word does not invoke the animal. We have come to associate the name or word cat to the animal through long use. There is no real relationship between the word and the meaning. Meaning is attributed through its use by a community of language users. The animal cat does not declare its catness. We attributed the catness by giving it a name. The cat might very well see itself as a man or a lion, but humans have given it the name cat. The word, which is a signifier, is connected to the meaning or concept, which is the signified, in a purely arbitrary relationship. Together, the signifier and the signified constitute a sign. So, the signifier is a sound or a word, and the signified is the concept or the meaning behind the word. Now we have got three principles regarding language that Saussure puts forward. First of all, arbitrariness. Words have no real connection to their meanings or the things they describe. The connections are established by conventions. And second, relationality. Words make sense to us or have value for us in their relationality. Here, value is a Saussure's term. He used the term value. For us, in their relationality, in their difference from other words, words are therefore related to each other in the form of difference and have no absolute value of their own. And the third or the last is systemicity. The structure of language or the system ensures that we recognize the difference. So this was a short discussion about structuralism. In our next video we will discuss it further.